Hi, everybody, and welcome back to Phantasmal Forest. This is our D&D show where a couple of college students are getting together and doing the best we can to play D&D. Everyone ready to kind of jump in back to where we were?
Yeah.
So at the end of last time, we were in a dungeon. It kind of had these different cavernous rooms. You're in the side of a mountain, and they've all been kind of different so far, right? And had some sort of like odd thing hidden inside, but you're making your way through. You've just defeated some undead-ish skull spiders that attacked you. And even though it was kind of scary, you feel a little bit like your confidence has bolstered as you leveled to level 2 as you walk further into the cave. So let's see. This is where my notes suck. All right. You're heading out. I'm saying all the kind of tunnels between here are like you'll go through a smaller kind of single file tunnel and then open up into like a larger cavern. But this one kind of branches two ways. So to the right, you can just see kind of further down the tunnel. There's not a ton of light down either of here. And straight forward, there is a kind of echoing drip and another dark cavern, but it seems a little bit shorter from what you can see. You can almost see the back wall in the distance. So you have your choice either to kind of turn right or to go straight down at the more open cavern.
Okay. And we can't see much in either cavern.
I mean, you have dark vision, right? But I'm talking like... this is probably like a tunnel for like 60 feet on the right? So like before it might open up into something else, you can see that much forward, right? So it's a tunnel. You can't see many obstacles in the way there, but like you don't know what the room is at the end of the tunnel just because it's too long of a distance. And at the other one, you can see the end, right? There's nothing really noticeable on the floor, and you can see the back of the room. And there's kind of some shadow on the ground near the back of the room that's pretty dark, but you can see kind of the back wall, so you're confident it's not like a super deep kind of offshoot into anything else.
Okay. If nothing is there into the straight ahead one, that's where I would go.
That sounds good to me.
Yeah, I would agree to that. Yeah.
Yeah, you walk in towards this like shorter cavern that you see, and it actually kind of like dips off at a ledge, and there's like a little bit of a rock slide down even further, and you can actually see some sort of glittering like in the distance as kind of like there are beams of light and there are drips of water, and you can see something shiny down this kind of rocky, hill, this kind of steep curve.
I am going to hop, skip, and jump down that hill to the shiny thing.
All right. Can you make a either athletics or acrobatics check as you try to make your way down this?
Depending on the number of hops or skips.
I think the hops or skips down like a steep, rocky...
I got a 4.
A 4?
But, well, no, hold on. It's a 9 because I have a 5 to acrobatics.
Okay, well, that's...
not great.
You're going to take 1d4 bludgeoning from hitting the ground.
Are you going to roll that or should I roll it?
No, I rolled it. 2.
Oof. I'm good.
Well, ouchie. Is you just kind of like, you hop and you skip and you forgot that it's not just a hill, it's like a rock slide on a hill, and as you land on your skip, you just start skating down on a rock and you kind of like at the end.
Put my hat
But
back.
you're okay. You're in one piece and you're down here, and you can look around.
What is the shiny thing?
Make an investigation check.
You bet your buns I will. Nice, 12. Okay, and 14.
You see down here what happens to be the body of an abandoned adventurer. It's wearing leather armor. It looks a little bit kind of eaten away by the kind of half of a puddle as the water drips down from the ceiling that it's in. But in like in front of it, there is a pouch of gold that's kind of spilled onto the floor, and one of the coins kind of hitting a ray of light was what you saw from up there. So you can find about 20 gold pieces in a little pouch that you can gather if you want.
I will pick it up, but I am not adding it to my equipment yet. Hey guys, there's a dead person down here.
Do they have anything of note?
There's money, but I think to me the most important thing of note is that there's a dead body.
Oliver very carefully, no hopping or skipping, comes down.
All right. Do you want to do what? Athletics? Maybe dexterity. I could live with.
Dexterity would be much nicer than athletics. I guess I am going to hop and skip and jump. That's a 14.
14? Yeah. Yeah, actually, that one's fine. You hop and skip, and you kind of, right where Amelia fell, you notice the kind of slidey nature of it, and you just kind of like land in such a way that you could just like skate down like you're skiing the rest of the hill. And you can step off. It was very elegant and graceful, and you cannot wait to tell everyone about it.
Yeah, my ego was damaged enough earlier. Like, I'm really glad about this one.
Yeah.
This is, Oliver is now on the rise, right? Like before he was getting a real ego check.
I guess I'm gonna run down after them. That's an athletics, I assume.
Yeah, athletics. Go for it.
Cool. I got a 16 plus 6. That is over 20, so we're good.
Oh yeah, no, that's way more than you need to get down here. Yeah. You just see them both hop and skip and do this, and you just walk down, just like maybe like a little bit slower than usual. You know, if you can move 30 feet, maybe you move like 25, but like you get there. You can see the body that's there, the kind of like nice looking leather armor. If it hadn't been kind of sitting half in a pond for a while, it would have been pretty nice.
I'm not great at this, but can I investigate the body, see how long it's been here?
Do you want to do like a nature check to see how old?
Like a medicine, would that count?
Medicine. Yep, go for medicine.
Not that that's going to be great either. Hey, 19. Never mind. I got a dirty 20.
Yeah. I would say this body's probably been here 3 months.
Okay.
I feel like it's aired out enough, especially in this kind of environment, that it's not necessarily the grossest thing down here, but like it's also old.
I was just wondering if we saw any like evil looking mushrooms growing.
Evil looking mushrooms? Do you want to make a nature check for evil looking mushrooms?
Yeah, sure.
Or maybe an investigation roll just to check over the body, or...
I could do a mushroom specific check. 18.
18. There are no mushrooms down here.
There are none.
No fungus, no plants.
Question. With my medicine check, could I tell what this body died from?
As you're investigating, you kind of notice it had been kind of like half kind of sloughed in the water. Maybe it's right shoulder, but a lot of it's like lower body as well. And as you look into the water, you can see that there are big kind of like marks raked up its like legs, and he just looks like he was put down here after that, or fell or something after getting scratched.
It's looking a little bit like the bird did this.
I suppose so. But how would it get in here? How big was the bird again? It's pretty big, right?
Did it look like he got scratched and then like walked, like, or like he died like from immediately from getting the scratches, or like?
You got a 20 for your medicine check, right? Maybe you could do some real forensic science and be like, with a loss of blood, he probably didn't die on impact and somehow is now here.
I am not feeling good about facing this big bird. Anyway, he's got coins. 20, did you say?
Yep.
Do you guys want
I guess we should take what we can from this man, and maybe
you want to search
even
the body, Skylar?
Yeah, sure.
Go for it. Do an investigation roll.
Investigation. Got it. 16, 18.
18?
Mm-hmm.
You kind of go over and, just kind of military training, maybe being a little bit more immune to this than your fellow adventurers. You kind of like poke just to make sure there's nothing more useful. And as you do, you see a little vial in the pocket, which you can pick up, and it looks pretty familiar. You'll probably see one before. It's a minor potion of healing. So I believe that is 2d4 plus 2 healing, I believe you do with the minor potion.
Yeah, I guess I'll take that. Yeah.
You also, as you're leaving, you get it. You're leaning down close to him to grab it off of him. You notice in the right ear, there's this kind of gold rectangular earring that's pretty noticeable, or right in the earlobe, and you recognize it as the same one that Saino Feor, who sent you on this quest, she was wearing an earring just like this.
Do either of you know whether this earring possesses any sort of magical powers, or should we just leave it?
I could perform an Arcana check.
Go for it if you want.
That is a nat 20.
A nat 20? It's not magical.
Do you think Zeno knows that the last adventurer they sent here died?
I'd imagine, since they hadn't probably come back with the bird's head.
Do you think that Zeno thinks we're going to die?
My best guess is that they'll keep throwing whatever they can at it until it's finally gone.
Great. I feel so good about this. Oh, boy. Anyway, here's 6 gold pieces for each of you.
Thank you.
I'm going to keep 8 of them.
I don't know what the point of getting an adventure story is if I don't get to go home and tell it.
I think this is just one person. We're 3 people. And
very true.
We have magic.
He did take out that wolf pretty easily. And yes, it was a smaller opponent, but still an opponent nonetheless.
Are we killing the bird?
No.
All I'm saying is that we may need to pacify it somehow if worse comes to worse.
I think we've got a better chance than this guy. Shall we go on then?
I agree. Let's move.
You turn around and you walk back and you realize there is now a big rock slide between you and where you were.
Well,
it's not unclimbably high. It might be a little bit more difficult than getting down here.
Going to be the exact same thing as last time.
Oliver, do you want to get in my little thing again?
Well, give me a moment. Can I check? Are there rocks that I could I want to see if I could do the thing with throwing a piece of rope around a rock and then maybe offering it to Balthus and then climbing into the egg sack.
Not a bad idea.
Okay, wait.
to give Balthus help while I
find it. Balthus is using the rope while you're in the egg sack.
Right? Would that be okay?
Sure. You know what? Make a survival check to identify a stable rock. Miria, what are you doing while Oliver is
I think
himself about rope?
Climbing up again.
Go for it. Make an athletics.
11.
You get halfway up and you're just running in place. The same place you slipped before, and it's just
I think I'm gonna wait for them to get up and then try and get on the rope parade.
All right, Oliver, roll your.
Yeah, I got 19.
19? Yeah, you know what? You suddenly are the kind of anxiety of having to try to run up a sheer again is rushing in you, and you hone in and you're like, oh, it's got to be this one. It's obviously the right rock, and you get your rope, and you know what? You throw it too with the survival check, and you lasso it on there, and you secure it pretty well, and you feel really confident, and suddenly that you're like, oh, I'm a good adventurer. Look at what I just did, and you climb into a bag on Balthus's back.
So I guess that means I start, making my way up there a little more.
Yeah, I would say I was going to give you disadvantage for carrying Oliver, but since Oliver set up the rope system to help you, you're going to be a straight roll. So just roll once.
A 17.
17? Yeah, that's enough. You grab onto the rope and you just walk your way up again, going a little slower than normal, but not too slow, and you get right up to the top.
Awesome.
The rope.
Yeah, go for it. Roll with advantage.
Yay. Okay, well, the first one was a 4, and the second one was a 2. Okay, yeah, it's just a 4.
4 total?
Yeah, it's a 4 total. Thanks, advantage.
You fall back down to the bottom.
Ah, bats. Can I get the rope again?
Yeah.
What else am I supposed to do? Do I get advantage the second time?
You know what, CJ? As funny as this was to begin with, you're gonna try enough times, you're gonna get up there. It's just gonna be a comedy of errors, and we don't need to spend all the time watching one of our characters walk up a hill. That was also designed on my fault, but I also think it's funny.
So do I eventually get it?
You eventually get up there. You're a little sweaty, and you're covered in that like really fine layer of dust after you're moving the gravel around. But you're okay.
Do we want to take a short rest? CJ, what's your health at?
Oh, I have 15 of my 17 hit points, so I'm okay. But we can definitely do a short rest. What about you guys?
I'm at max.
Yeah, I'm at max as well. So, but
wait, I don't get all my hit points back at a short rest, do I?
No, but you can roll a hit die. So you have, what do bards have? 8?
I have 1 d8, yeah.
So you have 2 d8s because you're level 2, right? Oh. So at a short rest, you can roll up to 2 d8s per day.
Okay, that will probably definitely get me to max.
Right? So you could sit for like an hour, and then CJ will heal back up to full.
Okay, yeah.
You won't regain spell slots for my.
That's cool because I've already got my spell slots still.
All right, great.
I didn't do anything coming up. Okay, cool. I'm at max again after our short rest.
You just took a short rest right there on the little ledge after you got up?
Yeah.
Pulled out some...
I play a little tune.
Oh, nice.
And I forced them to listen to that for an hour.
Maria, are you feeling better? What? Do you feel ready to go now?
Oh,
it's a wonderful tune, but
the song's not over.
Oh, well, maybe you could show us the rest later.
Oh, of course. So glad you want to hear it.
Yeah.
I agree. I think we should catch the bird before we hear the rest of your tune. It'll be a celebration song.
Ah, sounds wonderful.
And if I get eaten by the bird, it's okay.
Well, I sincerely hope you do not, Oliver, but I will play a beautiful tune at your funeral.
Thank you.
Which will not happen because we are not going to die by bird.
Of course not. Now let's
get it.
We should go. Yes.
I love that confidence. All right. So I'm assuming you kind of make your way out up here and then kind of go along that other pathway that you had the option to go along. Along the way, there's a couple little offshoots where these little rooms, like 5 to 10 feet, and you can just kind of pop your head in and look around at these natural stone caverns that are just have these, wondrous and weird shapes, flowing through the rocks. And you approach probably the biggest cavern you've been in so far. And in the center is a little abandoned fire pit. There are some benches set around it. And in the corner to the north, there is just some mining equipment, like laying in a pile on the ground.
Can I go investigate that? See the individual items? That is a 19 plus 2, 21.
There are mining tools in all stages of kind of like broken and breaking down. There are musty smelling blankets and pieces of chipped rock. The fireplace has nothing really fresh in it. It honestly is almost unrecognizable as a fire pit, but for the kind of the hint of the circular shape of rocks. And the benches, I think, really help in you reading it there. But there's nothing spectacular here. It's just, I built a room for you guys to have a short rest in, and then you took it on the ledge outside.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. It's funny. I thought it was great.
Oh, look, do you guys want to sit down and hear another song?
I think we're in a bit of a hurry now.
I think we should get going.
Okay.
Please.
All right.
Again, this room has 2 openings. One goes to the west and one goes south. The one south, you can hear the soft sound of moving water. And it looks like there's definitely more moisture kind of accumulating on the air. And you can see again that there are some holes in the rock to the outside light that are down there. The other place actually is a skinnier tunnel again that you're going to need to walk through single file about this. This is going to be just about like your width. So you're going to really be walking through there, and it's a little bit darker, and you just see the end of a wall as it turns left and you can't really see past that into the opening.
When we see the patches of light, can we see like a big sort of patch of light showing a big hole in the ceiling or wall?
These are probably the biggest ones you've seen. Before, they've been really kind of like pinpoint or maybe like a little bit like pencil size kind of holes. But now you could probably fit your hand in like a ray of sunshine light. Not that you'd want to do that, Miria. It would actually probably hurt.
There could lead to a pond where the bird drinks out of.
I feel
Big
like
bird bath.
bird is probably not in the tiny tunnel. It's a big bird. So go west is the one near the pond.
West is the one into the darkness. South is the one with the water.
To the south, then?
You head to the south. It's, again, a decline, but nothing too steep. It's okay. Everyone can just walk down it. And you get to... What's surprising is it's an underground beach. There's a sandy shore that glints in those pockets of light coming up through small holes. And there are a lot of birds in here, actually. There's a big pillar coming up from the ground, but they're not all big birds. They're birds of all different types. Small, little, like almost chickadees to bigger kind of ravens. There's these tropical birds that should not live anywhere around here. Balthus, you're from this continent. Tropical birds don't live here at all. This country, I mean. And they're all just sitting peacefully and flying around in the sunlight at this beach underground or in a mountain.
Can I roll a perception check just to see like what's around, like any side pathways or anything? Or
Yeah, absolutely.
14.
So this room, it looks to widen to like 50 feet across. So it's actually a pretty small area of water, all things concerned. It's pretty high, the cavern, which is why the holes kind of poke out into the light, is because you're kind of almost at the edge of the mountain here, so you're pretty high up in it. There's an area where you see some sort of fish in the water that seem to be lightly glowing, which, you know, you're worried for a second that it's that kind of yellow stuff, that yellow glow, that yellow ick and fungus that you've seen around in a couple places, but they're actually just a pale white light that they glow under the water. And at the other side, occasionally one swims over to illuminate another area of water where there seems to be a fair amount of coin sitting at the bottom, as if someone had used this like a wishing well.
Ooh.
Is there more evidence that people have been here aside from the wishing well?
I mean, you had just been to a whole mining camp, that area that kind of is one room off. There's no active footprints in the sand. I think they all would have washed away, but there is money down here as well.
Okay.
I'm gonna just open my notebook and take like field notes to describe the different birds and the I guess, ecological.
Yeah, Miria, all the birds you see in the Underdark, I mean, there are like one or two and you see a couple bats too, right? Colorful, like crazy. You never have imagined birds that could have looked like this. It's pretty cool.
Pretty neat. Yeah, but I'm writing it down for Zeno.
Got it.
And there's only one entrance and exit to this room?
There is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if this is what we're looking for. It's very cool.
We should write this down in case we need to find some other birds, yeah.
Don't you worry. I'm also drawing pictures.
Yeah.
How much coin appears to be in the water, and how far away is it?
There is a big pile. It's a pretty good pile there. And I would say it's probably 7 feet from the shore. It's not, I mean, people aren't like throwing this into the deepest part of the water, but I think it's...
I'm not going to go get it. Underground fish... My dad's told me never to go in the water because the fish are going to eat your skin.
I see no reason for us to get any more money than we already have.
Yeah.
All right. Back up the normally sloped hill into the living area, with the benches and such. And you turn the corner to the west and into this kind of darkened hallway that again turns south. And the air like thickens with humidity. Like there's like a noticeable kind of wall walking past it where it just feels thick and tense now that you've traversed this far into the cavern. And you can continue south, and the room begins to open up again in a familiar pattern to a circular chamber with a tree growing these bright red not glowing, but shiny, you know what I mean? Like a very like reflective surface of cherries on the tree. And again, there is an exit to the west and to the south.
Can I go inspect that tree?
Yeah.
I think I want to pick just like a little branch full of berries, put it in my pouch.
Sure. You pick a branch of the tree and the cherries glow bright red and then explode at you. So I would like you to make a dexterity saving throw.
Uh-oh. I shouldn't have touched the tree. Okay, that's a 17.
17. Let's see. Yeah, that does it. So you're going to take 1d4, I'm going to half damage from the little explosion that emits as you pluck these cherries off of the tree. So that was 3. So have that rounded down, you get 1 point of damage.
All right. Don't pick the tree, guys.
Could I do, I guess maybe a nature check to see if there is a way to like take it off without setting off the explosion? Because I feel like they would kind of be useful.
Sure. Try a nature check.
Okay, so I'm not pulling them off, but I'm just seeing what I can figure out. It's a 9.
You are starting to kind of look at the tree, but you kind of just see the little branch and the little bits of char on the end of it from, the branch that Miria had picked and exploded. And it's just so like, you're an indoor man. You're like, why did I think I would know how this tree works?
How much light is in this chamber? Are there openings for the sun?
Yeah. There are openings for the sun here as well. And they're getting even bigger than before, actually. There is a good amount of light pouring into this. And again, you can hear rushing, moving water. Before, it was kind of like a slow lap, and you notice that it was almost like a beach scene. Now it's quick rushing water.
Okay.
And it's coming from the entrance to the west.
Okay. And the other entrance, what does that look like?
The other to the south, it's down a little bit. It kind of narrows into more of, again, a hallway. There is a pile in the corner of what kind of smells a little bit like rotting meat, like trimmings, that's kind of sitting off to the center, to the side. And you actually notice there are some like woven grasses kind of hanging in almost a doorway, a mimicry of a doorway further to the south.
You said the speed of the water, like the sound picked up?
There is another source of fresh moving water somewhere near here that you've noticed.
Okay. I'm a little curious about the grass doorway.
Yeah.
It's just a new source of water.
The grass doorway is different than the water.
The grass doorway is to the south. Yeah. The rushing water is to the west.
I'm not gonna like go far down the passageway, but if I can see the pile of what smells gross, I'm gonna go inspect that in the doorway.
Yeah, you can, I don't know, find a stick on the ground and kind of poke at it. It just looks like meat trimmings, like bits of fat. There's flies kind of flying around, but it's all pushed kind of neatly into a pile. It's not kind of strewn all over the place, at least in that respect, as neat as your, meat trimmings can be.
As much as I'm curious about like the meat and what's going on there, I think the smell is also a lot for Oliver. So maybe I do want to check by the water.
As you go off to this passage to the left, there is a small, what looks like the edge of like a pond that you might see over the fountain in the middle. And instead of a fountain, it's basically a waterfall that's coming out of the ceiling, a smaller hole in the ceiling, and a waterfall is just rushing straight down into this kind of receiving pond. And it's not getting too full. It must be offloading the water somewhere else. But it's just this kind of like singular isolated waterfall in the like upper left corner of this room.
That's all in the room. Can I perceive or investigate anything else?
Yeah. In the south, there is this kind of area of darkness that there looks like to be another pile of things in, if you want to go around and look there.
Oh, yeah. Let me go check out that pile of things. Investigation check?
Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Hell yeah. 19 plus, I think it's a 1. 2. 19 plus 21.
So as you're walking over, you just see a pile of kind of like rusted weapons, shirts, bags, worn down materials from looks like multiple people. But you notice before you step there that there is a pit in the ground that's kind of dug in before it that is deep, and it's crawling with cockroaches. And you would almost just stepped right into it. And if you hadn't been looking so intently as you were walking over, you might have just walked right into this. It's so slim, it almost, you didn't perceive it as something but a mark on the floor.
And I can't get around it?
It goes straight across end to end. You tried to jump over it. It's not super deep, but you just have to look out.
Yeah, I'm going to try and jump the pit.
Yeah, you can jump this without problem. I'm just,
oh God,
I'm not, because you rolled such a high investigation, I'm saying you noticed before you walked into it.
Nice and good.
Yeah.
And anything of interest, like the weapons, do they look usable?
Nope.
Okay.
It's
nothing in the bags.
Yeah, it's almost like, I don't know, this corner, it smells like this stuff has been here, you think longer than the other things you've run into so far.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm going to hop back over.
All right.
There's a pit over there. It looks man-made, Suzanne?
It does not look natural, right. For sure.
Some sort of a trap or something. But
and the things that were smelling bad earlier, did we see explicitly what that was?
Was it the rotting meat? I think it's the rotting meat.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
But okay, I was not sure what the meat was, but it's just food meat.
It's just food meat.
Okay, I've just got some worries about these adventurous things.
There's nothing else in this chamber. The waterfall is just coming straight up from the sky.
Yeah, it's like there's a closed rock ceiling, right? And so there's a hole in the rock, and the water is just pouring straight down through that hole.
But there's no way to get up and
no. I mean, unless you can breathe underwater and can also fight the current.
Nope.
All right.
I think we have to go down the gross meat hallway.
That little pit is giving me the heebie-jeebies anyways.
Also giving me the heebie-jeebies.
I just hope we're not attacked. And I guess I start making my way over. Yeah.
So you pass the rotten meat and you come up to this circular kind of opening where you have to push aside these kind of reeds and dried grasses that hang in a fringe from the top of the cavern. And you see a room with a large pillar in the middle. And it is lots of stalactites coming up from the ground. And on top of this large pillar, there is a giant bird's nest. It's about 15 by 15 feet. It seems that there's just feathers and stuff all over the room. And in this bird's nest, you see, waiting for you there, a giant bird. White feathers turning to gray at the end. The body looks almost like an eagle, but it's kind of colored very softly. There's not a ton of variation. It's just that kind of white fading into a darker gray towards the tip of its wings. And it stares at you with these kind of goldish eyes from on top of its perch in the room.
Is this the bird?
Yeah.
I sort of whisper.
Definitely the bird.
It's even bigger in person.
But the bird sees us, right? And it's not doing anything?
The bird sees you and is not doing anything.
I was quickly going to look around, see if there's any bad things lying around otherwise.
Do you want to be walking around the room and looking for traps more in depth, or do you want to stay where you are and just visually scan the room?
Just scan.
All right, then that's a perception check.
Cool, sounds good. Perception. Okay. I got a 19.
You can see in the corner of the room, there looks to be kind of like an old beaten up chest that has some stuff in it and like some personal items strewn about the floor. And the end of it looks to be a cot, but you don't see any like other beasts or anything else waiting in this room. It's just the kind of stalactites and this massive pedestal with this giant bird. And you notice a huge hole in the ceiling. They're really big. This is an open to the air chamber. And it's what you would notice the bird flying into the mountain and then disappearing. He'd probably come in here, right? And it disappeared from your sight.
Okay, I'm going to whisper to the others. I'm going to cast a spell, I think, to make the bird friends with me.
Excellent.
I just hope it works.
Yeah, me too. I'm gonna cast Animal Friendship. This spell lets you convince a beast that you mean it no harm. Choose a beast you can see within range. It must see and hear you. If the beast's intelligence is 4 or higher, the spell fails. Otherwise, the beast must succeed on a wisdom saving throw or be charmed by you for the spell's duration. Well, I don't know how smart this bird is.
I guess we can find out.
Animal friendship time, I guess. Please be friends with me, bird.
As you do this, the bird kind of sits down and settles in its nest and looks at you. And you kind of hear this talking in your mind that says, that won't be necessary.
Okay.
Hi, bird. Did you guys hear that?
Do we hear it too?
Yeah, you do.
Oh.
Okay.
I don't think spells of that level really work on me.
Yes, well, I'm so sorry to offend. We come in peace.
You don't come in peace.
We come in peace if possible.
I kind of jump in. Where are our manners? We forgot to introduce ourselves. I am Balthus.
And I am Miria.
And I'm Oliver.
You may call me Melnim. MEL apostrophe NYM.
Melnim. You are the last of your kind, yes?
Not soon, hopefully.
You have children?
Eggs. And he kind of shifts over them again and just looks at you.
Would you be willing to come with us to the academy?
You know not of who you work with.
We didn't ask a lot of questions.
That's silly. You should never sign a contract without knowing what you're agreeing to.
Yes.
What are you talking about?
Past mistakes, to be solved in the future.
Bygones be bygones.
What do you know about them?
I know that they're angry and scared. A sickness is crawling over the mountains. It's poisoning crops, sucking the life from animals. It's terrorized this country and it's making its way into the next.
Where did it come from?
Well, this mountain used to serve as a boundary between here and the lands where wild magic runs free. And it seems that the wild magic has taken up arms in recent years.
Do you know why?
It's some reaction. It's some last resort. It feels desperate to assert dominance again.
Again?
The call of the wild does not make sense to me always.
When did this start? The wild magic, the sort of sickness in general? When did it start, and when did it begin to cross the mountain's boundaries?
Well, it started across the mountain maybe 80 years ago. Only in the recent decade has any real damage been done across country lines.
Why have you not started to move? I'd imagine that you would be in danger of some kind, would you not?
This is where I stay, on the boundary between two worlds, the physical and the wild and the magic. And I'll watch.
What about your child?
Hopefully, they will grow up to be protectors of this place after I'm gone.
Oh.
You do magic.
Yes. And just kind of because that like happened, you can just hear like the sounds of a beating of drums kind of banging all around you, kind of around the room, and it disappears quickly.
Very cool.
And the bird kind of looks proud of itself. He's like fluffing his feathers a little bit.
Yeah, no, I was just like, impressive.
I do a little golf clap. Melnim, we have the same goals, I think. We both want to protect nature, to help stop the destruction of the animals and the plants. But I don't think you want to come with us or bestow us one of your precious eggs, and I don't think we can ask that of you.
No, I don't think we would be getting along very well if you took one of my eggs.
We saw someone else here, an adventurer, a corpse. It seemed like you two had fought, but we were associated with the same school. What happened then? If you could tell us.
He came and he tried to take my eggs. I see no harm in defending what's mine.
I'm not trying to start anything with you right now. Nope. You are a very big bird. I respect that very much. Did you talk at all? Do you know?
I do not. We're said to be intelligent, I don't know, and magical. There are many things that could be wanted of me. You know, having maybe the guardian be tailored to your will in the next generation could be useful.
Could we perhaps have some of these fallen feathers as scientific evidence?
Make a persuasion check.
Well, I got a 9.
Take 1.
Oh, thank you so very, very much. You are very kind and generous. And I will take the biggest one, I guess, that I see on the ground. And
if possible, may we take anything in that chest of yours? You don't seem to be using it. And I point to that chest over there, the head that I saw, just in case. You never know.
I may not be using it, but that doesn't mean I don't have company every once in a while. This is the part of the room for my friend who visits.
And who may this friend be? And how may we get in contact with this person?
Glim. Glim actually might be one to talk to if you want to know more about the Vashten Academy, by the way, CJ, of Druidic Arts, WACHSTEN. You'd go to EAR, Glim School of Engineering, Alchemy, and Reasoning. Gear. That's the one.
So you stay here, and how do you protect this mountain from the wild magic?
Well, when the fog gets too heavy, I whip up a storm to clear it. When the land gets sucked dry of this magic terrorizing us, I help again with plots and animals, and take only the barest of necessities for living. And occasionally venture into the magic. But I haven't had to do that in, a century.
It seems like things are getting a little out of control.
I fear too much to leave my post and check. I must stay and watch the eggs in my nest. There is no one else to help me now.
We could help you.
Yes.
Maybe you can. If you want to know more about what's going on, maybe you can help, but I must stay here.
The fog, you said, you protect the mountain by clearing the fog, but I thought that was from a person's interference.
I think that causes it, right?
Yes.
Yeah, the factories produce the smoke, but it never used to clog the air so thickly and unpassably before. And you get a terrible cough by walking into it. Doubles you over. I prefer to circle above when I can.
We'll see what we can do with the information you've provided, but we do thank you for your information and your company.
I have one more question, if you wouldn't mind. You said you're the only one, I think you said now. Was there anyone else who was once protecting this mountain with you?
My mate was here with me before. No longer.
I'm sorry.
What will your children do when they grow old?
I don't know.
Are there any others of your kind?
There may be. We live for many hundreds of years. Hopefully there will be time for them to find a solution in their own right.
We'll definitely keep an eye out for any of your kind remaining, and hopefully you two can, or you multiple can regroup and see what else is possible.
I think we will go see our friend Glim.
Yeah, definitely.
Yes. I can send him a message and let him know to expect you.
Yes,
Thank you.
Appreciate that. Thank you. And we want to help, and we will do what we can.
And the
So I
bird
guess-
kind of considers, this whole time, this kind of soft voice has kind of been echoing. The bird's mouth hasn't moved, but it's kind of been moving as if it is speaking, kind of shifting with the pattern of the conversation. And the bird kind of fluffs its feathers a little bit and reaches its beak down into the nest and plucks out a small dagger. And in its massive beak, it looks huge. It's so tiny, this little tiny bit of metal. And it kind of picks it up and reaches down, kind of craning off of the side of the pillar, and drops it onto the floor before you.
Thank you.
What is there any special purpose to this dagger?
It's good.
Fair enough.
It's a good purpose.
Alphys, do you use daggers?
I can. So
I believe I'm proficient with dagger.
Oh, my bad. Sorry.
do you want to try that then?
Does a dagger count as a simple weapon, Suzanne?
Yes.
Okay, because it's in my weapons thing.
Yeah, your equipment. You have a dagger in your starting equipment, so I assume you are proficient with that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I am too, but I think Mary would. I think they would be better equipped to have at least some sort of physical thing with them as well as a.
Thank you so much, and thank you, Balthus. I think it is time to.
Yeah, let's be on our way then. We don't have much time. Would there be an easy way out?
Roll a charisma check.
A charisma check.
That's
All
charisma.
right. 19. Yeah.
It's bird riding time.
It's bird riding.
That's bird riding time.
Knocked off my glasses. I was so excited.
I don't know why I didn't expect that, but as soon as you suggested it, I was like, duh, of course they should ride the bird out.
It's bird riding time.
Of course it's bird riding time. You don't need to walk back through the dungeon. There are traps you missed.
Oh, thank goodness. Oh, thank goodness. I had no idea.
Melnim can pick you guys up on his back and ride you quickly to where you've parked your horses, where you tied your horses out of the side of the mountain.
As we are flying, I'm just looking around. I'm like, this is the best day of my life.
You land. Apples is there, safe and sound. You guys have been gone for maybe, it couldn't have been more than 4 or 5 hours, right? By the time you climb, it's 20 minutes out of the city. You took a short rest for an hour, but you really didn't take too much time in there, which pretty good, considering it was, time bound to get out for the smoke started to creep back in.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you, Melnim.
Thank you.
We appreciate this.
And he flies off back up to his home.
Do we know where this school is?
Skylar, do you want to make a history check?
That's an 18.
An 18?
Mm-hmm.
So being from the area, you've heard of Gear before. It's a pretty highly ranked college. In recent times, it has started to go downhill a little bit, but I would say it's been around for 300 years. The entire time with the same headmaster, Gimbal Glim.
Back in my day, it was a very prestigious place. As of now, not sure, but I know exactly where to go. Where do I go?
Yeah, it's in the capital city. The capital city of Talfin. It's called.
Of course. We shall go to the capital city of Talfin in order to find this so-called friend.
Right.
Let's go.
All right. I get on horse. Never named the horse.
Do you want to name the horse?
No, I like it. I like horse. All right, cool. Let's go.
Right, I follow.
Andiamo.
Woo! So it's going to be probably a day and a half to get there. It's not super far away, but it is going to take you a little bit of time. So you're probably going to have to camp for one night on your way. You can do the 1 day of travel without much difficulty.
Okay. You want to do watches?
Yeah.
I'll take first.
You're first? All right.
I can take the next watch.
I'll take last. Yeah.
Miria, you stay up for first watch. A lot has happened since you left home. It's really crazy, and you kind of reflect on that. Sitting, outside the small fire that you guys managed to pull together, on your sleeping bags on the ground, and staring out into the distance, you feel this kind of feeling inside you, like something in your stomach is kind of curling, and you begin to see the grass around you lose color as it all kind of shrivels up and dies in a radius. And you hear, not hearing exactly, is feeling that kind of voice from inside you that just wants energy. It's so hungry, Miria.
No. Go away. You're not here.
I won't be held back by limited offerings of grass and small sea creatures much longer.
I don't know what to do. Just leave me alone. Just leave me alone. Find somebody else.
I mean, you called me.
I was young. I don't want this anymore.
Well, this time for me has at least been entertaining. But I think I'm gonna stay along for the ride a little bit longer. And again, you can see more of the grass around you crumpling away farther and farther radius out from you. And you kind of blink and you open your eyes. And it's all back to normal.
Oh, boy. Yeah, I'm just sort of finishing the watch, sort of holding on to myself.
Yeah. Eventually, Oliver, you're taking a second?
That was a good nap. Time to have a perfectly normal watch. Maria, you look a little tired.
Yes. I think I need to sleep, meditate, go close my eyes. Good night, Oliver.
Good night, Maria.
Oliver? You don't have any creepy visions. You just look out into the distance. You see maybe the shapes of some animals crossing far away, but nothing crazy. I mean, this is, pretty dry, packed dirt land. There's not a lot of grass for there is like a small covering that seems to be growing back, but it's not like the lush kind of high grass of Arzenad that you're kind of been used to. This is a very different type of setting.
Sure.
And you maybe write in your notebook a little bit, practice some calligraphy, think about some titles for, what your book of stories about your adventures maybe could be called. Or at least the little short story titles themselves. If you don't, get a compilation of them.
Oliver wins the big fight and doesn't fall down any rocks. Chapter 1.
The great stories of Oliver, and also other people are there, but mostly Oliver.
This is Oliver's story.
Balthus, you wake up and nothing happens. So your rest is your break. You got to sleep your 8 hours, and you kind of wake up and maybe you get, breakfast ready, and you're kind of wandering around getting ready for the morning, as you're not going to sleep anymore.
Do we all get everything back?
Yep. You can get a long rest. You get all your health points. You get all your spell slots, all your bardic inspirations, your action surges. Everything's back.
Neato burrito.
Woohoo! You've got about half a day's travel left before you're going to make it up to the capital city. So you can hop on your horses. Mini Miria, I forget what we called your horse.
Mackenzie, you called it.
Mackenzie. Mackenzie, Apples, and Horse. And
names.
You get going. Yeah, riding across the ground again. Miria, can you make a wisdom saving throw for me, please?
Oh boy, I sure can. 13.
Okay, yeah, that failed. I looked up the DC and a 13 did fail. So I would like you to make an attack at... I'm going to roll a d3. If it's a 1, you're going to attack Balthus. If it's a 2, it's going to be Oliver. And if it's a 3, it's going to be your horse.
Not my horse.
I got a 3.
No!
Mackenzie!
Mackenzie!
My horse! Okay, what do you want me to attack?
Unarmed strike.
Unarmed, so just like a straight, that would be plus strength, right?
Yeah.
Okay, and I have no strength, so it's a 7. Is that what I'm doing? Punching my horse?
You know what? Punching it sounds so weird. Maybe you could kick it really hard or I don't know. Either way, you'll do 1 point of damage. I'm pretty sure horses have more than 1 hit point.
Yeah, they
1 hit point.
Drop instantly.
Absolutely awful. How aware am I of what I'm doing?
You're aware, you just couldn't control it.
And I just hit my horse and we keep going? Like nothing else happens?
Unless you guys want to stop and do something about it.
I don't know. How far am I from the whole situation going on?
I don't know. I mean, you guys are riding fairly close together, but you're not on top of them.
I guess I do hear a noise though, and I look back and say that I'm Is everything okay back there?
All good.
All right.
I pet the horse and I whisper, I'm sorry.
Mackenzie tries to bite at you.
Oh,
No.
We're gonna make dexterity checks. I'll make one for Mackenzie. You make one for, and we'll see who beats.
Check.
I'm gonna roll a check. You're gonna roll a saving throw.
Okay. I got a 21.
I got a natural 20.
I got 21 though.
Yeah, I don't have a horse's stats in front of me, but I'm gonna let Mackenzie bite you. So take 1 point of damage.
Yeah.
dang.
I deserve that.
I feel like my dice wanted Mackenzie to get revenge.
I want Mackenzie to get revenge too.
I think I might want to wait to actually get you guys into the city. So I think we might end our session here. And next time you will, you finish your ride and you're just kind of arriving at the gates to this tall, industrial, sleek city, nice concrete, sidewalks, neat urban area in comparison to the kind of like crowded urban space that you were in when you kind of passed through 4-0. So we will get there and we will get you to gear and we will see what happens next time on Phantasmal Forest. Thank you guys, everybody who watched this. It makes me so, so happy to be able to record this and share the D&D stuff that we're doing. And you can follow us on Twitter and Instagram at Phantasmal D&D. And we'd love to see you again next time. So thank you. Hit subscribe. Thanks for watching. Bye.